What's going on, SolForgers? I'm doing my first vid that has a unboxing, and this is the first edition booster kit that released last week when it was release week, and I went and got one. An LGS happened to get some in at a very nice price, I must say. And let's open one of these and take a look. I have another one as well, so I got two of them. And that one I'm going to do a video, well, it'll actually be a SolForge Sunday, but Dan and I are going to basically open up and draft a booster kit. So the plan is, as we open up a booster kit, we take all 4 decks, we look at them together, analyze them, and then we'll kind of do a coin toss to see who gets to draft first. And it'll be a snake draft. So whoever wins drafts the first faction, and then the next person gets to choose 2, and then the remaining one goes to the person who chose first. So I think there's an interesting decision there if whether you want to go first or not. So let's get into this booster kit and see what we have in store. Ooh, alright, alright, alright. I already saw something that I have never seen before. So we got Mega Gizmos, Spellstorm, Mega Gizmos. So these are the token cards we got with it. Let's get these all open. Kind of pumped that there was a card I'd never seen before. Alright, so there's one. So I cut myself accidentally here. There's the second one. Third one. All right. And the fourth one. Bit on, I guess, some half strategies for those of you who are a little confused about doing different halves and the best way to put stuff together if you're unsure. And so far I've come up with kind of 2 ways that are kind of nice. The first being that you can choose to have a deck that goes wide, and you can choose to have a control deck. And what I mean by that is, if you're building a deck, one of the nicest things you can do is actually just build something that's going to have put a lot of creatures on the board and then have some removal to go along with it. I think those are the 2 best beginner things, is have a lot of creatures on the board and then some removal to back it up, and then just see how you like things from there and go that way. And you can obviously use your Forgeborn as a means to have that happen. And you can also just look for things in the deck. So first off, let's go with, I feel like this looks different than the Kickstarter ones, but maybe I'm just tripping because I haven't seen those in person in a while. So here we got Oros. And we're going to just go look at the gold cards. The reason being I just actually want to look at the gold cards is because when I'm playing SolForge, when I want to know what I'm prioritizing, it generally has to do with whatever the gold cards are, because I'm going to prioritize getting those out of my hand early so that I can have these later on in the game. So it says Botnate, so there's some removal. Combat Barrock is a 7/8, and when you deploy, you give the next creature you play this turn +8/+8. Magnivorious Slayer, 11/15 Warrior. Better than I would like. So let's just brighten that up a little bit there. There we go. That's better. When an enemy player plays a spell, give this +10. Okay, that is pretty slick. I like that. Mystical Batterhide. Deploy this turn, an enemy creature loses all print ability and gets Defender. You may play a Wisp minion. I'm a big fan of this ability. It's essentially like a removal on your turn, which is just going to help you be able to kind of, combat some problem creatures and buy you time. Groovy creature +8, and this turn it gets 8 armor. If you gain life this turn, it's free. Shardplate Delver, classic, 5/6 breakthrough, and if it replaces a creature, it gets +7/+7. Stampeding Ranger, breakthrough 9/11. If you have no empty lanes, give this +5/+5. So this is a classic. Want to go wide here, get a lot of creatures out. Stout Ravager. If you gained health this turn, give this +6/+6. That's pretty sweet. The Southside Steggy, one of my absolute favorite cards in the game. Breakthrough, deploy if this is unopposed, gain 5 life. All right, so there's a little bit of health gain. And then Toxic Spore, you may give a creature +10, you may give a creature -10, so some removal. So right now we're looking at choose an enemy creature, opponent replace it with a Wisp. So there's 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 cards in this deck that can deal with creatures. So I actually like this. This is quite a nice half right here. And then if we just look at the Forgeborn abilities, there is Shapeshift, give a creature +3/+3, and it has all creature types. Barkskin, give up to 2 of your creatures +8 armor. Give your creatures +7, you gain +7. I mean, that last one's pretty nice indeed. Next, let's go with our friends over here. And let's see what we got. So Abysmal Creeper. All right, this is a card I have never seen before, so I'm kind of stoked for this. So deploy, deal 7 damage to an enemy player unless they destroy one of their creatures. At the end of each deck cycle, each enemy player destroys one of their creatures. Okay, this is pretty sick for a 10/10. I'm liking it. Dr. Frankenbaum. When a creature is destroyed by this, you may put that creature into play in any of your lanes. Okay, that's pretty good. 9/13. Ghastly Renewal. Reanimate a creature. If you have a scientist in play, here's a scientist. You may reanimate up to 2 creatures instead. Also really good. Ghoulish Demon. Deploy the next level 3 card you play this turn is 3. Liking it. Gloom Reaper Hag. When this is destroyed, deal 3 damage to a player. You gain 3, so there's a little bit of life gain. When this is destroyed, if you have the Forge, reanimate this to this lane. That's pretty cool. Mobility 3 and aggressive. 8/10. I do like aggressive. Spirit Reaver. Okay, 7/11. Activate. Choose a creature type. Give each creature of that type -3. Okay, that's pretty sweet. I like that. Never seen this card. Varna's Pact. You may play a brute zombie minion. Give each enemy creature -5/-5 for each minion you have in play. I mean, that could just be a board wipe right there. So I'm really liking that aspect. And yeah, so it's a guaranteed -5/-5. And I haven't seen this either. The Zithian Dreadmaw Stealth. Activate. Destroy another one of your creatures to give this +6/+6. Okay, that's pretty cool. So let's go 6 damage. So I guess it's just incremental increases for... Yeah, it's incremental. Okay, that's that one. I just want to see actually this one. So it goes 5. This is really good no matter what. The Abysmal Creeper, I'm pretty stoked on that. And then for the Forgeborn, we have some removal here. Destroy level 1 creature, deal 6 damage to a creature, you gain 6. Okay, I like that. Destroy one of your... I mean, that seems better than this one if you're going to choose between the two. Just because this one is give your... it's all of your creatures. So I guess it's a matter of keeping yours alive versus removal. So that's one thing to think about. And then destroy one of your creatures to give it +12/+12. I'm kind of liking these already as a pair, these first two, just because of the fact that there's a lot of breakthrough in that deck. So there's the Necreum half. Let's go to Aloyan next. What do we got? A card I've never also seen. The Epoxymancer Stealth Warrior. 7/10. When you replace a creature in another lane, deal 7 damage to a creature or player. Okay, that's pretty tight. Not gonna lie. Energy Surge. You may play a Mega Gizmo minion, upgrade a card in your hand, then play it for free. Gauntlets of Solgrim. You may deal 10 damage to a creature, and you may give another creature 10 armor this turn. I'm loving that. A 12/1, 12 armor creature. This is fantastic unless they have a remove health situation. And then it's not quite as good. Palladium Pulse Mage. Each enemy player destroys their lowest powered creature. I like that. Spirit Forge Sentinel, aggressive stealth. Deploy if this replaced a creature, give it +6 power, and then you have this here. So that's some nice little synergy. Stabilizing reinforcements, give creatures adjacent to this +5 health. You may return a creature to its printed health and toughness. Health and power, which is really good. Stout Technician, just an 8/18 Scientist Beast. Then we have a Synapse Skeleton. I haven't seen this before. Activate, upgrade a card in your hand. Oh, this is a Maverick, to use a term from Keyforge, which means this belongs in Necreum and is in this Aloyan Tech Upgrade. Oh, I like this one. Choose one. Deal 10 damage to a creature. Give a creature 10 armor, or upgrade up to 2 cards in your hand. If you have a Scientist play, choose 2 instead. I'm liking that, and I believe we had a couple Scientists here. Just the one Scientist. Quite a few Warriors, though. So, yeah, I like that. I actually like that quite a bit. That's a really nice Aloyan half. Move a creature to the back row of its lane. You may give it -5 attack. You and your creatures get +6 armor this turn instead of creature's power to... Yeah, not really a fan of the Forgeborn there. Let's move on to the last one in Tempest, one of my absolute favorite factions. So we got Arrogant Ice Crusher, an aggressive 17/5 creature. Yeah, this is a big booyah right here, and I'll talk about that in a second. Lightning Brand, never seen this. You may play a Spell Swarm minion. If you have a mage in play, you may play a spell for free. Okay, that's sick. Piercing Colossus, 16/9. When your creatures and spells deal damage, they ignore armor. Sick. Pyre Song, destroy all enemy creatures with decreased health. Stampeding Mongosaur, deal 12 damage to one of your creatures, deal 12 damage to an enemy creature. I like that. Summoning Warstoker, 8/10. You may play a Spell Swarm minion. Very nice. Thunderstomper, classic card, 4/14. Deal 2 damage to another one of your creatures to give this +6. Turnabout, choose an enemy creature. It battles another enemy creature. Undeady, aggressive. If you have 3 creatures with decreased health, this is free. Arenti Alamist, activate, play spell for free, 6/9. Okay, yeah, so this deck is very much leaning into the spell side, so I'm going to want to play this with spells for sure. And because we have here, Summon the Swarm, play up to 2 Spell Sprite minions. Gathering Storm, when you play a spell this turn, deal 5 damage to a creature or player. Stimbolt, play a spell for free. So there is a ton of spell synergy, even with the Forgeborn. Honestly, where I'm at right now with this is I feel like... Let me just have a look here. So I'm kind of liking these two together and potentially these two together as well. I just want to... 1, 2, 3 spells in here is nice. And here we have 1, 2, 3 spells as well. So that's 6 spells. Yeah, I kind of like these two together just for the replace. You have the spell sprites, so replacing them if you fill your board or your lane, sorry, is not a big loss, and you can just get the effects of some of those great things. So I'm kind of liking the way these two work together, although there is Scientist synergy to a degree, and I think actually we go over here for Scientists. Yeah, because this has, if there was beast synergy, yeah, I'm going with these two as my combos, and then I think these two would also go very well if I was drafting. I like them both. This is a really solid half, I think, on its own. This has really interesting cards. This is maybe the least... Honestly, this feels like a pretty good booster kit to me. I'm really liking all of them. I don't think there's one that I wouldn't play. I just think these paired up very nicely. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. One thing I do really like about this half here is there is some aggressive creatures, and the reason, see, there's aggressive, so 2 aggressive. Aggressive I think is one of the most powerful things in the game, because if you are going second, you can just drop down an aggressive creature as your final move for the turn, and basically go and hit face without a response, because if they have some open lanes, you can just play them there and they can't respond. That being said, a really nice way is you're finishing with the Arrogant Ice Crusher. Here you can use this guy, and if you have actually, I really like this Undeady, because if you have one creature with decreased health, you can play this one, but I think it's more potent in the silver. 3 is a little bit harder to pull off, I find, but for 2 and getting 8 damage in unanswered is really nice potentially. And then you have this for 12, so if you can play both of those unanswered, that's 20 damage right there. So just a nice thing to remember. There's some really great aggressive cards in the Necrium where you can basically have it come into play, and then use an activation and make a whole bunch of zombies aggressive. It's one of my favorite cards. Can't remember the name of it, but yeah, look out for that in Necrium strategy. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be sure to play some of these with Dan, but we may actually do this first and then move on to our drafting next time. But I really enjoyed opening this, and I really like these decks. I think they're pretty sweet halves, and I'm stoked to test them out. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know any comments or feedback or things you may have noticed that I overlooked. I am still learning this game and getting truly used to it, but I feel very comfortable playing it, and I'm absolutely loving it. So forge on, folks. Forge on.